think I forgot water back at the barn. Good Lord, guys. You know what? Hello, everyone. I just wanted to do a quick little video here because I wanted some breakfast and got my gear with me. Sorry, it's really kind of muddy out here. Got my gear with me, so I made a tarp. It's a 5x5 tarp. It's just, it's kind of like a trail tarp. If you're just out hiking, you know, doing a day hike, or maybe you're doing a little scout away from your base camp, and you just want some shelter to carry with you to, I guess, get you out of the rain if it's raining, then I'm trying to see if a 5x5 is big enough to be worth anything. Set up in a plow point, it's not bad, and especially in like a warmer temperature when enclosing your body heat is you know, not as imperative, which is probably, you know, if you're keeping up with these videos as they're coming out, it sounds weird to say warmer temperature right now in January, but it's like 60 degrees today. Yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna find me a tree here. We border the park, so we're just walking the fence line here because, oh my god, you can see, holy cow, muddier than hell. Climb the fence again. You can see, yeah, we border the park here. You can see it's plenty muddy, so I'm just gonna find me a little tree, post up under, throw up this tarp, some sort of fashion. I'll kind of decide when I get there, and yeah, just kind of do it to it. Oh, and then make some oatmeal and some coffee. All right, so quick little breakfast and be on our way. Show you guys this tree. This is it's one of those Osage orange trees. They drop those brain looking, green apple looking things. Okay, you can see how orange it is. They look like haunted trees. They look like, you know, Harry Potter trees or something. But we got them all over the property here. We're right on the river. That's the river right there, but there's one, all these spindly looking trees, you know, they're all along this fence line here. Those are all Osage orange. And they're all down the trail and everything. So they are, yeah, and they drop those, they call them horse apples. Those green, they look like green brains. So if you ever wonder what tree that is, that's what it is, the Osage orange. Look at that. Look at the bark. Very strange tree, you know. Okay, I think we're gonna try and sit up here. The wind is blowing this way. It's oh man. Yeah, the wind's blowing this way, so we got a nice little log to sit on there, which I'll take my hatchet and shave off the wet bark so I have something dry to sit on. And maybe we'll just try and throw us up a little plow point right here and see what we can do.
Okay, so now we're gonna cut to here to me setting up this tarp. Like I said, in a plow point configuration here. I think a plow point is the fastest shelter to set up. You see me digging in my bag there. I looking for cordage. I didn't have. I usually carry a couple 6-foot lengths of like 550 cord for guy lines and stuff, rather than having to break out my whole ridge line for, you know, just tying up a plow point. But I only had my ridge line with me in my bag today, so. And as we'll see, the theme in this video, I just forgot all kinds of stuff back at the truck. Now, we're not out on the trail. We're just going out, in the back 9 to have a little fun. So, but still, you gotta. Doesn't mean you should forget stuff back at the, back at the, whatever you want to call it, back at the barn or back at the truck or whatever. But so yeah, I'm starting to get this plow point set in. I'm getting the last stake put in here, and then I go back around to this other side, and as I pull this tight, you're gonna see it, and there we go. That top tie out broke out, and so I sewed this tarp. This was a 5x7 tarp I got from Harbor Freight, and I cut it and I sewed it into a 5x5, and I just used pieces of tarp kind of doubled over to use as the loop tie outs, and it tore right through the loop. The sewing was sound. It was just the actual material tore and didn't hold up. So here I ended up just putting a little stick in there and doing a clove hitch around it and tying a sort of a prusik knot.
So
and doing
tie outs broke. I sewed these tie outs on here, and just a piece of tarp doubled up is not very strong. So I would say the 5x5 tarp as a plow point is too small. That's just too small. Maybe for a kid. Let me see if I can show you. As a plow point, I'm just showing you. Could I possibly get in here? Would I stay dry? Sure. I would stay dry. Wouldn't really be able to sleep in there. So we're gonna try something else. And rather than explaining, I'll just show you.
Okay, and for those of you listening, so now we're gonna throw up our ridge line. Just a good old-fashioned ridge line with a trucker's hitch tied off, and then we're gonna kind of be putting this tarp over there in a diamond fashion, kind of like you see over hammocks. How you see people set up their hammocks a lot. That tarp in a diamond fashion. And if you have a smaller tarp, oh my god, excuse me guys, if you have a smaller tarp that's like a 5x5 corner to corner is I think it's a little over 6 feet, so you get a little more coverage out of it if you set it up in a diamond fashion like this, where our main goal here is just to get out of the rain. Rain was coming in. It's been just, it's been, you could swim through the air basically right now. So rain was coming in. I was just kind of basically seeing how decent of a shelter I could come up with a little 5x5 tarp, which I think ultimately is just a little too small for a tarp. And over here, so remember our tie out is busted out. So there I am looking for cordage again. I ended up just cutting a little bit off the end of my ridge line. And then on the end of my tarp where the tie out is broken, I take a little piece of a stick, ball it up in there, tie a clove hitch around that. And then I tie a prusik type knot, which is basically just think of a taut line hitch, to the ridge line, so then I'm able to pull that tight, and that worked out fine there. And we will go over that here in a second once we pick up, and I'll show you kind of what else we had to do here.
Okay guys, so let me show you what I got going on here. Got a ridge line going across. You have these little kind of toggles holding this on through the tie outs. Over here, this tie out was broken, so we tied a clove hitch around here, and then you just tie yourself basically a taut line hitch, but a prusik knot here. Okay, so you can slide that, tighten it as you need. Now here's the problem. I don't know why, but I don't have the usual cordage that I do in my bag. So I'm not ready to give up yet. I gotta figure out a way to guy these things out. All right, like this, because this is what we're gonna have. Okay, you see? I need a way to fasten this to the ground. So I think if I just find the right stick, I can jam it in the ground and it'll hold it. Okay, that's something. You know, hey, I mean, sometimes you forget stuff, and sometimes you're like, hey, I'm not gonna give up now. So this is what we got. We stick this nice and put it on the ground. There we go. Okay, so let me kind of explain to you here. We didn't have enough cordage to just have some guy lines run down the stakes. So we put a stick there, stuck into the ground down there. And we got a stick here. And this isn't stuck into the ground even. It's just standing there. And this big log is sitting on the bottom of it, holding tension to give us a nice little canopy here. I would still say that this is pretty tight to being too small to really be able to count on for anything. But I don't know, in a pinch, might get you out of the rain. I'm just saying if I can get to some dry wood here for a seat. It's a pretty soaked log. Not gonna have much luck there. Let's see, there's gotta be something. Well, we'll we're just making it up as we go along. Put some twigs down here. Okay, that's not too bad. I mean, definitely pretty wet. What can I find around here? Rain's coming. So let me find me a little seat. Got a nice big piece of bark, some sycamore bark. By the river we got plenty of big old sycamores, those big white trees. And the rain's coming down, so we'll throw this piece of bark down here and see if that gives us some sort of seat. Maybe I'll have to get down to some, if I can just kind of get the wetness off a little bit. I mean, it's worth it because once you get wet, it's, you know, it's going to take a lot more effort to dry out than it is to just not get wet. So there's that. Pull our stuff inside here. Oh God. All right, sorry for these wacky camera angles. All right, well, it's raining and we're staying dry. Probably hear it now. So, whatever, you know, what do you want? But, no, it's, we're just throwing up a makeshift camp, just doing what we can do. Got this freaking, the deadest log in the county, right here. So, yeah, I just don't think we're gonna have a seat. Well, you know what? Here we go. Here's what we can use for the seat. The lid to this Duluth pack is leather. So, there we go. There's our seat. Okay, now, gonna heat us up some coffee, some oatmeal. Okay, got the Primus stove, got my bag that I made for this thing. I think I forgot water back at the barn. Good Lord, guys. You know what? Well, this is just the way it goes sometimes. We got this podunk shelter. We got no water. We got... Oh, man. I can't believe I forgot the... Okay, well, there you have it. Sometimes you forget stuff. So, good thing we're not out on the... I swear, it's like just coming out to the back 9 from the barn, I forget more stuff than, you know, whatever. Maybe it's just in your head, like you're close, so you don't have to plan as much, but gosh dang it. Okay, well, that's that. Hey, we got a shelter made up despite a tie out breaking, despite not having the cordage that we usually have. It kept us dry while it just rained a second ago, so what else do you want, you know? We tried. So I'm gonna get back up to the barn now and do what I was going to do and eat some oatmeal and drink some coffee. Well, one more thing I do want to show you guys. So with this Duluth pack, which I love this pack, it's just a canvas bag basically, right? So the way you pack these things, you got to be kind of conscious of. I like to take the tarp and stick it in first. Kind of, that's what's going to be up against your back, and then put everything else in. And that just makes it a little more comfortable to carry, gives it some sort of shape, some sort of frame, you know, to make it a little more comfortable and just ergonomic to carry. So, you know, I fold it up in a rectangle and put it down in there first. Okay, guys. Like I said, we ain't giving up yet. We're going to eat our oatmeal. We're going to drink our coffee, okay? So, let's bust her back out. Now that I got my water. There's my bag with my coffee and stuff. A couple packets of oatmeal. And here goes the stove. Okay, worked up a little sweat, honestly. Sweating in early January over here in the Midwest in Indiana. So here we got our stove. Okay, let's pull it back out. Pull the lid off. That in there. Set her down on the ground. See if you can see it. Maybe I'll get a bucket. I'll get another bucket. So you guys can see everything. Okay. Screw her on there. Oops. Okay, spread our little arms out there. There you go. Now, take and just warm the water up in the bottle. Okay, and these this Primus stove comes with this little striker, which I don't know what happened to. Oh, it's right here. Comes with this little guy. Makes a spark. Let's get this thing level. Okay. So there you go. And there she goes. So you can probably hear it now. So we'll just put this as just stainless bottle. Put that right on the heat. Okay. I'll heat that up in no time. Meantime, we've got 1 cup right here. Okay, for oatmeal in there. 2 packets of oatmeal. I don't think I've ever eaten just 1 packet of oatmeal. Okay, old Speedway cup. Hey, we're just out on the fly, you know what I'm saying? Got the MRE spoon with us, the old trusty MRE spoon. And this thing's a jet engine. This club out here. So we only got 1 cup, so we'll have to eat the oatmeal and then drink the coffee. And it's got some Folgers for coffee. She's going. Single wall stainless container. Yeah, stainless container. That's why that's all I use for water bottles. Because if you ever don't have a nesting cup or canteen or whatever with you, you can always just throw your bottle on the fire. But it's got to be a single wall stainless steel container. So this thing is just a jet engine. Look at that. Oh, we got the afterburner going now. Water's almost warm. We don't need to boil it. We just need it hot enough for some instant coffee and some oatmeal. So I'll pick back up here in a second. Okay, so this is plenty hot now. Turn that off. Okay, now one of the most important tools you can have is at least 1 leather glove in your pack. All right, I got a grommet I put in the back, put it on a carabiner. But, yeah, I mean, you can, if you don't have a leather glove and you got to pick up a hot container, it kind of puts you in a tight spot, you know what I'm saying? So we'll pour in a little water in there for our oatmeal. Maple and brown sugar, obviously. So, there we go. Got ourselves some oatmeal. Alrighty. Now we got, in a second we'll have some coffee, and there you go. So you don't always have to do a whole overnighter out in the weekend just to break out your stove and make you some lunch or whatever. You know, get creative with it. Get creative with it. I'm gonna eat this, I'll be right back. Okay, we finished our oatmeal. Just got the tiniest bit of water in there just to rinse that out. Throw that off to the side. Okay. Now, bust out the Folgers. Okay. Pour in some coffee, or pour in some water. Not too much, we'll make it strong. Okay. Stir it around a little bit. There you go. And there we go. We got some coffee. So, while I'm drinking this, I wanted to show you guys something. I've got this, let me get this set back up here. I've got a book that I'm going to be, this is called Bushcraft, A Serious Guide to Survival and Camping by Richard Graves, published in 1980. It says, you can survive in the wilderness with only a knife and this book. I got it at Half Price Books, and I found a lot of cool things in it. So I'm gonna kind of do a little video series here. Where I'm picking things out of this book and we're gonna do these. Now, let me show you an example here. So, for instance, you have, let's see, knots, X and lowers. Let me find something. Well, something like this, for instance. Got this little section on camp chairs, okay? So you see all these kind of cool different ways he has of, you know, ways you can make a chair, you know, stuff like this, making raised beds, you know, all kinds of stuff, hammocks, looms, you know, ladders, swinging shelter there. So some of this stuff I want to pick out, and we're just gonna pick it out of the book. Like, for instance, this slush lamp. So I'm just gonna do a video where we walk through exactly how he goes over it in this book and just see what it's all about. This was really cool here, this bush hoe cut out of a dead log, as you can kind of see. So it's just some stuff that I want to do. I think it'll be cool to just pick one of these and do a video on it. And that's Bushcraft by Richard Graves. So just something I happened to find at a Half Price Books for a few dollars, and been reading through it, found it interesting. My favorite book series is definitely Dave Canterbury's book still. I just think it's all the information is practical. And I think most relatable to what people are doing in today. I just think it's, the way it's presented is clear, it's practical, it's relatable. It's stuff that you can go out and do, and will probably go out and do. And you can tell it's a book written from someone who has a lot of experience. So anyways, there's a lot of cool books out here. Half Price Books is I don't know if you guys have one near you, but I find a lot of cool stuff there. But I thought that was a cool book, so we'll be going through that. Otherwise, yeah, get out and use your gear. You know, like I said, get out there, make your lunch on your stove or breakfast on your stove. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys, this strange video of I don't even know what this is, but I do appreciate you watching, and we will see you soon.